Hello and welcome to another edition of Finding Your Frequency. I'm Brian Sexton, and today we have a special guest from Her Heart Assisted Living, Danny Cano. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me about Her Heart Assisted Living and why assisted living is such a big space these days.
So Her Heart Assisted Living, my mom started our company when I was a baby, started in our home actually.
You're kidding.
With one client, and over the years it grew. And about 14 years ago, I stepped on board, my sister stepped on board, and you fast forward to today, we have another brother working with us, a couple nephews,
Wow.
in-laws, and about 85 other employees that work together, and we care for the elderly.
I want to ask you about the family dynamic, but first, the caring for the elderly, especially here in Florida, is such a big part of everyday life for people like me, where my parents are aging, right? My wife's parents are at that aging part. What is it about Her Heart that sets you guys apart?
I think the biggest thing is family. So
Okay.
we even have one of our own family members living in our community. And you know, the need for assisted living, there's so many aspects of care that go into it. And there's 24 hours in a day that your loved one is somewhere else.
Right.
So I think people meeting us, meeting our family, having our cell phone numbers, knowing that their loved one is in a place where we care for them and we treat them like our family, I think is the biggest difference. And we've kept the same leadership team of the last, almost all of our managers have been with us for over 10 years.
That
So-
that doesn't happen. I
No.
mean, people don't stay in jobs like they used to. Why do you suppose that people stay? Family again, right?
Yeah. So in senior living especially, you'll see enormous amount of turnover. Most communities of our size are corporately owned, so they'll be changing their names every 2 or 3 years, new management companies coming in, and that always changes the dynamics of how they treat their employees. But for us, you know, we're on not just a first name basis, but treating our employees like family.
Right.
And I think if you love your employees in that way, it trickles down to how you treat your residents.
Danny, you started the conversation talking about your mom. Did she have a mission statement, a guiding principle, something that has carried you guys all these years that's never left you?
So we did rename the communities after her. She
Okay.
used to have 2 different names that she used, but really her heart, I think, is her growing up seeing a significant need for people to be loved, for people to have a home, for people to have food. She grew up in pretty rough circumstances,
Okay.
and I think her heart was to give everyone else what she didn't have, and so she has done that over the years.
I'm assuming, and I'm just assuming here, that a lot of your residents stay.
Yes.
Because, I mean, and again, we talk about people leaving jobs, people leave situations that don't fit them, but when you treat everyone like family, I guess everyone fits.
Yeah, so in 14 years, there's probably been, I can count on less than 5 fingers, how many have chosen to leave because of circumstances other than finances or level of care that they need to, like nursing home care.
Yeah.
They like being in a place where they're loved.
What's the biggest challenge that you face in assisted living these days?
These days, it's actually been, thankfully, I don't want to say easy, but in comparison to what we've been through during COVID, the years 2019 to 21, we're in a really good place.
Okay.
So senior living in general is a difficult workspace. There's a lot of responsibility, a lot of stress, a lot of liability. COVID made it pretty much unbearable.
Yeah.
And then you get through that, and it's like there's just a lot more appreciation for what we get to do now. And I think our team that we took care of in a very special way with burnout and just making sure they were okay, we changed the way that we led, changed the way that we managed. And I think even more now, we're more special than we've ever been before.
Tell me about the dynamic of having so many family members, intergenerational, obviously, but so many people that you love and care about on another level as your own family being involved in the business. That not everybody can do that. Mm-hmm. How's it going?
Of having different family members
Well, yeah, I
work
mean,
here?
you talked about brothers and sisters and
Yeah, so I'm the one kind of in the pyramid that has a lot more of the family dynamics that I have to manage.
Okay.
And I think the biggest thing for us is prioritizing our values.
Okay.
And knowing that even sometimes when in the business world, our family relationship comes last. That the most important thing is what we're trying to accomplish, which is excellent care for our residents. So it has been tough. You know, there have been times that I've had to hurt even loved ones for the sake of the mission. But thankfully, outside of work, you know, we really work hard in our relationships and knowing at the end of the day what's important to us. And we know for us, it's not about making money. It's about caring for people.
Sure.
And it's about meaningful relationships.
you know, in the football world, they talk about culture, right? Mm-hmm. And I heard the new Jaguars coach this week, Liam Cohen, talking about building culture. And the things that you're talking about are the things that businesses and football teams are trying to have, which is that everybody buys in, right? Everybody understands her heart, right? Your mother and what the guiding principles in family are. Is that your culture? I mean, do you get what I'm saying? That you have culture because it's family, right?
Yeah. So like an example, we thought we had a fire at the facility about a week and a half ago. Got a phone call that the facility was on fire. 3 a.m. I rushed there. I lived 12 minutes away.
Yeah.
By the time I was there, my sister was there, my brother-in-law was there. The residents were all out of the building.
Yep.
And thankfully it was a microwave and everything. It was just smoke from a microwave.
Right.
Everyone was safe. But just going on site, my sister and I gave each other a big hug.
Yep.
Just knowing that we have each other, that we're not just doing a business on our own. And then the employees and then the team and our managers who have lived with us, we've done some pretty unique things to care for them and just treating them like we would our own family members. And I think we don't have to try for culture. It's who we are.
It's who you are, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I like to ask 3 questions here at the end of Finding Your Frequency. And the first is, give me a defining moment in your life that helped you, dial in who Danny is and who Danny was going to be.
For me, it's hard to say a moment because there's so many moments to come to mind, but it's all been with my family.
Okay.
So I have a career that I get to give my best to my wife and my kids.
Okay.
And that I think is who I am.
Yeah.
I say business comes first, but they know that family comes first.
Right.
And I'm thankful to have a job, a career that I can value my life around being a father and about being a husband.
Yeah, the important
and
stuff.
Just having good relationships in my life.
How about a significant obstacle that you had to overcome?
It was the loss of my own father when I was a child. That has really shaped a lot of my early years, and it's shaped the way I've approached my own fatherhood and my marriage and my career, of realizing at the end of the day that that's my first job.
Yeah.
And
Boy, the theme of family just is threaded through who you are.
Yes.
It's really impressive. How about a piece of advice for somebody who is at a moment where they need to make a decision, right? They need to decide who they are or who they want to be and, or what they're willing to do to get there. You have a piece of advice that you offer people young or old about finding their frequency?
Yeah, I can't answer that question without speaking about my faith. And, I say my identity is as a father, but it starts because I know what it is to be a son because of my relationship with Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And I'm thankful for what he's done in my life and how he's guided me. And the enormous pressure and responsibility I've had even in my early 30s doing this kind of work, I don't think I would have survived if I didn't have that identity
Faith.
and community that has come through that. Just real, true brothers and sisters in Christ that, so again, it's that family component that I have in God's kingdom.
Family. What a great show. Thanks so much, Danny.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time here on Finding Your Frequency.